Right then, so I've just finished one of my antenatal videos and I've got a spare 10 minutes, so I thought that I'd get the tennis ball out and go through some of the tennis ball muscle release stuff that I sometimes do in classes at the end of core fitness, but also just useful stuff for you to do. So obviously at the moment we're all much more sedentary. Well, not all of us, okay, some of us are working really hard and I do get that, but for the majority of us, okay, who are either furloughed or working from home, we are much more sedentary, okay. We are struggling perhaps a little bit with like backache, and perhaps we're not sleeping as well, okay, we're a bit stressed. So all of these things are having a bit of an impact on our body. Now I know that, as you keep saying, me and Beck are trying to do the best job we can, and I think we are doing a good job delivering loads of different classes to you, but I'm going to try, obviously Beck's working really hard as well, helping out at the shop, so not that I've got loads of spare time, but I'm really going to try and do some little snippets of, I'll just go live when I've got the time and save it, and then you lot can have a go at it. So we're going to do some tennis ball today. I'm also going to try and do something not just on posture. I'm going to try and do some pelvic floor stuff. I'm going to try and do loads of things. I've always had a big long list throughout the last nearly 5 years now of stuff, of little workshops and things that I've wanted to do, but I haven't been able to do them because of the kids, okay, and you know, that's not a dig at them or anything, but I haven't been able to have the time. Not that I've got loads of time now, but even if I can just do little snippets and feed some of you bits of information that perhaps you didn't know, or it's just going to help you out a little bit, then I think that that's going to be really useful, okay. So basically all you need is a tennis ball. So if you've got a spiky ball, so you can get like spiky balls as well, okay, and they're like Pilates balls and the physios use them as well. Now you can't do everything with this, and it's not the same, okay, as having like a massage or anything like that, but it's as close as we're going to get at the moment, okay, unless you live with somebody that does sports massages or is a physio, okay, then you're not going to be able to access it, you can't access it, okay. So we're going to use this. If you've got a foam roller as well, I will do a little one just on a little video on using the foam roller too. But these are obviously really, really cheap. If you do go to the supermarket for your weekly shop and you haven't got one, sometimes you might be able to pick one of these up. So if you just go into Tesco or whatever, lots of other supermarkets available obviously, but you might be able to pick one up too, so then it's useful, okay. So we're going to start with the feet, okay, and then I'm going to work up through the legs and the ankles, and I'm going to show you a little bit of upper back as well, okay. So there is a bit of a rule with it. You're obviously not putting it directly like under your joint, so we wouldn't put it like under our elbow, we wouldn't put it on our knee and like roll on our knee. Same with our hips, and we do have to be a little bit careful around the back and the pelvis at the front, okay. So with the foot, so you can do this standing or seated. So usually on a night now, well before this even happened, but me and Tom are chilling out watching the TV once the kids are in bed. I watch probably about 10-15 minutes and I start to get a bit uncomfortable because I've done classes, okay. I do struggle with lots of different areas of my body from doing that, but from having the kids as well. So I often get pains in my hips sometimes, down my legs, so mine is generally from my hip all the way along to my ankle, okay, so working all the way. Now it's not all the time, it's just because my muscles are very tight, I use them a lot. I do try and stretch out as much as possible, but that's not always happening, and also with the current situation I haven't been able to have sports massages, and I normally have those regularly, okay, so that's one of the reasons. Also because I'm perhaps not sleeping as well at night, so I've been doing this and I just do it while I'm watching the TV, and it's just really helpful. So the ball goes underneath your foot, okay, and you're just going to roll it out basically. So let me just double check that you can see my foot, okay. So I've just got the ball, I'm pulling a little bit of pressure on, okay, not like really pushing down like this and hurting myself, but you should be able to feel it, okay. So basically you're just going to work all around the foot. So you're coming onto the ball underneath the foot, round by the toes, on the inside of that foot, okay, so really try and get a bit of good movement on. So you just need to be careful what floor you're doing it on. If you've got your yoga mat, then it's quite useful because obviously the yoga mat's got a bit of grip, okay, and then coming on the outside of the foot as well, and and then we'd move on to the heel. But you'd spend a bit of time doing each area, and then obviously you'd move over onto the other side. So I'm just going to do a bit on both so that I've roughly done about the same. Okay, so for me, I really do feel this. Okay, those of you, if you wear heels a lot, okay, you'll probably find this really helpful as well. Just a nice release, basically. So yeah, so I would normally spend a good 5 minutes on each foot. I do. Obviously, it's entirely up to you. You can do it while you're just sat on the sofa. Only problem you've got to be careful of is if you've got a dog and they think you're going to start throwing the ball. Okay. Now, some of the positions I'm going to get into look a little bit weird. You're not going to look potentially the best doing it, but the release is amazing. Okay. So then, I normally just sit on the floor watching the TV and do it like this, and then I'll progress. So I'd start here. Okay, and then I'd work round to the outside of my foot, and then I start to bring it in. So obviously you need to be careful of your ankle joint, but then I start to move onto my lower leg. Okay, so I'm just going to shuffle back slightly so that you can see me. So I'm here, and I'm working all along, and then I start to rotate it underneath my calf. Obviously you might have to move it a bit, but once you get the hang of it, you get quite good at it. Okay, and I do circles, bit of forwards and backwards, and again here, and I come right up round by that knee. It's absolutely, oh yeah, fantastic. You come forwards up towards the shin, so here, and then you can start to work a little bit further up if you want to. Now, I don't use it for my quadriceps. I mean, you could, but I prefer to use the foam roller for that and for the upper part. I mean, sometimes I might try and do a little bit, but I don't find it quite as effective that I can get such a good range of motion. Okay, I mean, you can a little bit. So here, but the foam roller does just seem to be a bit easier to manipulate, and as I said, I will do a foam roller one. But for the feet and the lower legs, I find it really fantastic. I struggle with the foam roller to do my calves properly. So here, I just do some nice releases. Okay, so feet and lower legs here, and then also upper back. So I'm just going to take my top off. Sometimes if you've got clothing that moves quite a lot, you can start to get yourself in a bit of a pickle. Now you can do this up against the wall as well, and I will show you, but we worked hard yesterday in classes, okay, and I'm feeling it a bit in my upper back. So again, you've got to be careful how you do it. We don't want to put it directly on the shoulder. Some pressure but not forcing down, okay, you don't want to be squashing your ball. And also be careful if you've got long hair, okay. So where's my ball gone? It's rounded up. So I'm here, and I'm just rolling it out. So actually, if I just come around the other way and show you, I think that would be more helpful. Okay. So let's go here. So just rolling it out, and you can work your way. Sometimes you have to find and get yourself in the right position. You can take a little bit of trial and error, but it should be a really nice release. Okay, so you can see my ball's not squashed at all. I'm putting a little bit of pressure down, and I'll try and work through some of the back. Okay, and then I'll move over onto the other side. So then you can use it up against the wall. So if I just do a little rotation for you, okay, I might have to move slightly more. There we go. Let's take my picture off. This picture's never been up and down so much. So you can do the same here. So you can use it. So sometimes that is easier, okay. It's just trying to get the ball in the right position, and also just depend on how slippery your wall is, okay. So you can, if you manage to get it, if you've got a bit of a knot, if you manage to get it in exactly the right position, then you can put some weight through it. Also, using the wall for the back is a bit easy because it takes any pressure off your hands and wrists if you're trying to hold yourself, okay? And you can put a little bit more pressure through and perhaps get a good rotation, so you can do it both ways, okay? Sometimes it is just a little bit easier. If I just go to Oh yes. Okay, so as much as I love Tom, my husband, he's not really the best at massages, and he just gets bored after about 5 minutes, which is completely unbeneficial to me, because it's not that I want them just to lie there and be lazy, it's generally because I need them. So I'm really feeling that, that's really fantastic all through my back there. So just a few, thought I'd just got a spare 10 minutes, Lila's still asleep, Noah's happy, Tom's busy painting, so I was just like, right, let's go for it. So use it for your feet, use it for those lower legs, you can use it up for the outer thigh as well, okay? You might find that beneficial, but for that back too. Obviously you do need to be really careful, okay? Think about the area that you're working, so think, you don't want to directly put that ball onto the joint. Think about the area that you're working in, okay? So be careful if you've got like a slippy floor, okay? If you've got a yoga mat, that might help. And again, if you've got your wall, great, but just be careful if you've got any hooks or anything in it as well, okay? So just be sensible with it, push a bit of weight through, but don't force it, okay? So for some of you, you'll be able to, a bit like me with my feet, as soon as I pop that ball underneath my foot, all I'm doing is rolling it out, putting a little bit of pressure through, and I can feel that already, okay? And this really helps me. Every night I normally do this little foot thing, or every other, and it just helps me just keep my body balanced enough until I can then go and have my sports massage. So obviously it is a little bit different for me and Becky because of how much we normally do, but for you lot as well, you'll probably be needing a bit of something like this now, okay? Also, because some of you are doing the most classes that you've ever done, and some of you are doing different type of classes, so obviously complements the yoga and Pilates and things we do, but just thought I'd run through a quick little blast of what you could use the tennis ball for. Okay, so have a lovely Tuesday evening. I am in later for yoga and Clubbercise, so I will see you then. So stay safe and lots of love to you all. Bye.